Namaste, DDs. My name is Sherry Sutton, and I am your business growth guide. So, you've got this great business going, it's awesome, or maybe it's not so great, but you're wondering if one of the things you should do to increase your revenue is should you add on a new product line, right? Whether it's, let's say, a course or, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but you're a coffee shop and you want to add on bakery goods, something like that. Excuse me. How do you know whether or not that makes sense? Because sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to share with you some statistics in a second of why you need to be very cautious about doing this. You have to do it in order to grow often. Sometimes you don't. So, all right, let me show you. I'm going to put my slides up. Super excited to talk to you about this. I have launched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products in my time in corporate America of all different types, right? I've worked on presidential campaigns. I've worked with mining chemicals. I've worked on, geeky products, selling to other geeky people. I've worked on products for Brinks Home Security. I've done a lot of product launches. And so this is just a small portion of my knowledge on the topic. If this is something you're considering, I definitely encourage you to give me a holler, because it's often just good to have other people think through it with you. But anyway, all right, here are 3 of the many things you need to consider when you're thinking about expanding your product offer. So according to Harvard Business School, there are over 30,000 new products introduced every year, and 95% of those fail. That is a scary number when you are trying to launch a product and you're like, oh my God, how do I know if it's going to work or not? I don't want to be the 95%. And there's all sorts of reasons why. And I'm going to share with you some of the things, again, to consider when you're launching a product line to make sure that you're not one of those 95%. Okay, so I'm going to share 3 things with you. Again, there are many, many other considerations, but here's the first one. The first one is this decision based on fear that my other products aren't selling? So I find this a lot. You're not going to see this in a business book often, but it should be written about, because I see this a lot, especially with entrepreneurs who have reached a certain point, right? Or maybe they haven't reached that point and they want to reach that point and they're not sure how to get there. And so the default is, oh my gosh, I need to offer another product line, right? That's going to work. That's going to bring me other business. That's going to bring me revenue. But what we frequently find is that that's not the case. So really look at what's going on. Why are you making this decision? Is this based on fear that your current products are not giving you what you want? Because that's something we need to diagnose first before you add on another product, right? It's like you don't want to just jump to another one. Kind of like if you're annoyed with your husband, you don't want to be like, I'm out, and just go find another guy. I mean, you could do that. I've certainly done it. But let's take a minute and evaluate, right? Why? That's terrible of me to admit that to you guys. I have a vulnerability hangover, but we've all had those moments, right? Anyway, so is this decision I'm making based on fear, or is it based on real good research? So you want to ask yourself, do you need to fix your current offer or make a new one? And the 2 ways you kind of figure that out are through research and mentorship. I find that I would say more than half of the people that I work with in my coaching programs come to me wanting to create a new offer, and they realize through research and through talking to me that it's really just based on fear and isn't something that they want to deal with in their business. I'm going to talk about some of the other considerations that come up first here in a minute. So I just want you to really sit on that, right? Do I need to fix my current offer? Do I believe my current offer is really good, but maybe something's wrong, right? Maybe the price is wrong, or where I'm selling it, or the promotion of it isn't right, or the messaging isn't right. Really doing an evaluation of why your existing offer isn't working, right? Why your foundational offer isn't working may be enough for you to create the revenue that you want. Because what we often do is we say, okay, this isn't working, so let me go try something else. And while that seems to make sense, often if you just spend a little bit of time auditing your existing offer, you can make that offer build or create the revenue that you want without having to add the complexity that often a new offer brings. And so working with a mentor, doing a lot of research, right? Really working through that is key at this point of your decision making. Okay. You want to make sure that your foundational offer is solid. Every business should have a foundational offer. So that's the offer that's kind of the bread and butter of your business, right? For me, it's one-on-one coaching. For, let's say, for a coffee shop, it's selling coffee, right? We're going to talk about a coffee shop example here in a minute. But make sure that your foundational offer is really solid. You have to be very cautious about not being the type of business that offers different things all the time, because all you're doing is throwing darts at a wall and there's no dartboard. You need to have a very clear strategy of what your foundational offer is, then what are your other add-on product offerings. So, and if you don't know how to do that, right, find a mentor like me or another one, right, that can kind of help you figure out what your foundational offer is. Who am I offering it to? What do they need? Where are they now? Where are they going to be? What messaging is going to work to get in front of them? What promotional plan do I need to do? You have to have a strategy to build a really strong foundational offer that you can then build products on. So how do you do that? So you want to make sure that your foundational offer, and again, this is a much more complicated discussion, but here's some basics. You want to make sure that your foundational offer is solid. You do that in three ways. One, you want to make sure that it solves a need known by your potential buyers. And I talk about this a lot in other seminars, but if your customer doesn't know that they need one of your offers, then they're never going to buy it, right? You have to have products that solve a need that customers know they have. And that's such an interesting shift in how we sometimes think about things, especially coaches, and I will put myself in that category. Coaches will often say, well, they need this, right? People are struggling with this, so they need this. And so I'm going to sell this, a course on whatever it is, stress management. But people don't know that they need a course on that because they don't feel that right now, right? They don't know that they need, let's say, they don't know they need their human design chart. They just know that they're totally stressed out, right? So you want to make sure that your problem solves a need your product solves a need that is known by your buyers. And that's sometimes a very distinct shift. Two, you want to consistently and effectively market your business over time. Our product lines never sell as quickly as we want them to. And we always have to market it more than we want to or think that we should. If you are getting sick of your marketing and think that everyone else is sick of it, you're probably doing it right. You're going to feel annoying, like you're doing it too much, like you're talking about your product lines too much, and often you're not. Often it is, you need to have that repetition, consistency over time. Now, you don't have to do it in an annoying way, and we can work out how not to be super annoying in it. But you want to make sure that you are effectively marketing your product over time and that you're giving it the time that it needs in order to really start building. Saying, hey, I'm going to launch this product for 30 days, and if it doesn't work, then forget it. It often will take more than 30 days. I know nobody wants to hear that, and I'm an unpopular coach because of that, and I'm okay with that, right? The real good businesses grow slowly, incrementally over time. There are some overnight successes, but you want to really look at yourself and say, have I really done everything I can to market this product? Or are there other things that I can do, right? So, and then third is you want to make sure that your buying logistics are working. So one of my coaches was talking about one of her clients. And so she did this product line. She made this beautiful product and she did all the research and she knew her clients wanted it. And she created this incredible, it happened to be a course, this incredible course. And it wasn't like no one was buying, right? She was doing all the right things. She was marketing it in all the places. And she was like, I don't understand what's happening. And so she called her mentor, who was one of my mentors, and said, oh my God, like no one's buying. And so they said, all right, let's do an audit of the sales process and make sure just everything's working. Well, it ended up that her sales page was broken. So here she was thinking that she was a total failure. She was probably thinking, oh my God, like this product sucks. I have to go create another one. And really, it ended up just being that her sales page wasn't working. So that's one other thing you want to make sure of is, are your buying logistics working? Is it easy to buy from you? Can they buy online? Those types of things. Okay. I'm sorry, I was distracted. I saw that there was a note from one of my amazing clients. Hello, Jim. Okay. Number 2 consideration is, can you sell it to your existing audience? This is a big one. If not, if you're going to sell to a different audience, and that's great, right? Like product companies do this all the time. Products are launched to new audiences all the time. But the one thing you have to consider, especially as a small business, especially as a solopreneur, especially as a business who might be doing this on a shoestring, is do you have the time and the money to find, nurture, and sell to a new audience? Because it takes time, right? If you're going to go find a new audience, it's going to take you a couple years to really penetrate and have that audience know who you are, want to buy from you, trust you enough to buy from you. So it doesn't mean you can't do it, but do you have the time and the money to find, nurture, and sell to that new audience? And really be honest with yourself about it. Because often we'll think, oh, I want to go offer this to these people. But then you go, oh God, well, when am I going to do that? Right? Because you're just sometimes, and I see this a lot where you realize like, oh crap, I just created a whole second business for myself and I don't have time to do that. So looking and seeing what you can offer to your existing customer base that is an add-on to your foundation, that's the best way for small businesses to grow. I'm not saying that you can't add on new audiences, but that generally doesn't come until you're getting into that medium-sized business where you really have the pocketbook and the time to be able to invest in new markets. So I want to give you a couple examples of this. So the first example of offering products effectively to an existing audience is, let's say you are a coffee shop and you want to offer baked goods as well as coffee. Makes total sense, right? You go to a coffee shop, you're a little bit hungry, right? You want to get baked goods, or like one of my favorite things that I buy at Starbucks because I'm gluten-free and I'm really hard to feed is, they offer nuts, right? They bring them in from outside, right? Something that's super simple, that they can just offer little snacks or something like that. A great example they have of offering something to an existing audience. They have people who are already embedded in, they're already here, they're already in the shop. You can take their sale from $5 for their coffee to $9 per person. Now that makes a lot of sense, right? That's what we call adding, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the term, but there's a business term for it where we're increasing the sale per customer, right? So what's the total lifetime value of that customer? If we can increase that by offering the same customer something, that is a very, very smart business decision. Now, here's an example of trying to offer something to a new audience. Excuse me. And it may not seem like you're offering something to a new audience, but follow me here. And I'm going to stick with this the coffee shop example. So let's say you own a coffee shop and you say, I want to sell a course on opening a coffee shop to potential coffee shop owners, right? I'm a successful coffee shop owner. I know how to do this business. I've got 8 different locations throughout, the Dallas Metroplex. I want to offer my knowledge to other people who are potential coffee shop owners. Fantastic idea. But keep in mind, this is a totally new audience, right? Are some of the clients who come into your shop, might they be interested in learning about how to open their own shop? I mean, maybe. Frankly, you probably wouldn't want to offer it to them because if they're in your market, you probably wouldn't want to teach them how to open a coffee shop because they're going to end up competing with you. So that's one issue. The second is if you want to sell a course on opening a coffee shop to potential coffee shop owners, you have to find a whole new audience. These are entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs who are interested in coffee. Doesn't mean you can't do it. But again, make sure you have the time and the money to spend finding these people, nurturing them, and then getting them to actually buy your product. So another thing to consider. Okay, so number 3 on what to consider when thinking about expanding your product offer. The third thing to consider is, what are the operational and logistical complexities of this new offer, right? This is what can often break small businesses. Is they say, I want to offer this new thing, right? And they don't really consider all the operational complexities or all the things that are going to be involved in doing that. And they don't have the pocketbook or the time to really allow that to grow. So the number one question you want to ask yourself here is, can you use your existing teams, resources, and tools to create this new product offer? I'm going to give you a couple examples of that. Here's a great example of an operationally aligned new product offer. So this is one of my amazing clients. Their name is Bentley and Lace. They're amazing. We actually just got them on TV last week. The interview happened last week. We're so excited. I can't wait to share it with you. So they make custom gowns as well as rental gowns for girls, like, girls and teens to wear for like these princess kind of photo shoots or for, occasions. So they primarily focus on the children and teen audience, but an incredible product offer, add-on product offer would be offering Mommy and Me, right? Or offering adult, right? Mommy and Me line of gowns where you can have, and you can see they have that, right? They have a line of gowns for mom and for kids. Why is this strategically aligned? From an audience perspective, it's frequently the moms who are buying the dresses for the girls, or renting the gowns for their photo shoot. And often the moms really want to get involved, right? The moms are already there. They're already making those decisions. To offer them a product as well is a brilliant idea because the audience is already there. Operationally, it's also incredibly smart because they've already got the sewers, the machines, the fabric, all the technology they need to sell gowns, make gowns, all of the things that they need to do. That is an example of a very operationally aligned new product offer. Let's talk about a product offer that's not as aligned operationally. And that's, let's say the same coffee shop wants to offer made to order meals, right? So they want to be able to offer, hey, you can come in, you can order a sandwich, you can, order a salad, whatever it might be. That is a very operationally complex change to their business, right? And this happened with Starbucks a number of years ago when Starbucks made the decision to start offering those hot meals. You know how you can get the sandwiches and they put them in those ovens? Going through the process of adding those ovens to every single store, training the staff, they had to spend a lot of money, like really investing in the technology to do that, investing in the training, investing in the change management for the people there, right? Because now they have food service. And so I'm not sure if this part's true, but they might have other health regulations that they need to follow because of that. So there's often a lot of things that are involved that might be just too complex, right? Is it worth, are the return of investment of offering food as a coffee shop worth it? Because now you're going to have a kitchen and a chef and staff that take things to your table, right? Maybe now you're dealing with tips where you really weren't dealing with tips when you were just having coffee at the desk. There's just a lot of other things to consider. And so it's not that it can't be done, but it's not an operationally aligned new offer where you can just bolt it on to what you're doing now. For small businesses, often the best offer for you is you have this the foundational offer, and then you find bolt-ons that go right on top of that, where you're talking to the same audience, you already have the technology to offer it, and so you're expanding the amount of money that you can make from each customer, as opposed to creating new products with new operational complexities for a new audience that you then have to go and find and nurture. So I hope that this was super helpful. If you are thinking about creating a new product offer, it's a big decision. And again, it's primarily based and many times on fear and like, oh my God, what I'm doing right now isn't working, so I have to do something to fix it. And if that's where you are right now, a mentor is a great thing to help you kind of work through that, right? What's going on with my product? Where am I now? What do I, what's going on, right? Should I be offering something else? Am I already offering too many things, right? Should I offer something else? Am I just not marketing what I have now effectively? If you find your business in that place, I would love to work with you. As I mentioned, I have launched hundreds and hundreds of products and worked with many businesses, both tiny startups all the way to Fortune 600 companies anyway. And I would love to work with you to help you kind of figure out, how do you optimize your business so you can spend the least amount of time and the least amount of money to get the biggest profit and have the most fun. So if you're interested in chatting with me, my contact information is on the screen, or you can put a note in the comments below. And I do these trainings every single Thursday, or most Thursdays. Sometimes I go on vacation and then I don't do them. But I do these trainings pretty much every Thursday. I would love your feedback on topics for future trainings. So put them in the comments below, send me an email, send me a direct message, and I will try to get your topic onto a future training. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Mwah. Thanks so much.